This week on the Digital Coffee, Twitter is finally adding an edit button. Yes, I know they said they never would, but they are. On TikTok, they are investigating audio, but in a different way to everyone else. And on LinkedIn, if you've got a creator profile, you're going to get even more features. All that and more after this. Good morning, and welcome to the Digital Coffee. This is your weekly dose of digital marketing and social media news for small business. My name is Amanda Webb, and you are very welcome. I would like to say a big welcome to anyone watching on Facebook. Do say hello. Say hello. And a big welcome to everyone watching on YouTube. Give us a hello. And to anyone watching on LinkedIn, hello. Do say hello. I have got a question of the week. I'm very interested to know the answer to this one. The question is, do you use Reels? Do you really use Reels or TikTok? Do you dabble with them or do you use them a lot? I would love to know where you are with Reels. And before I say hello to everyone that's saying hello, got a couple of things I need to say. So I better get them out of the way before we start. Firstly, at 10:30 a.m. over on Twitter, my Twitter space is back. Yes, where you can come and we can talk about these stories in more detail. Unfortunately, this week, May King is not able to join us. Sad face, because she's busy working. Like, who'd have thought it? So instead, I have the wonderful Louise Brogan joining me, which is great because she's a LinkedIn expert and we've got a couple of LinkedIn stories. So that is at 10:30 a.m. on Twitter. My Twitter handle is SpiderWorking. If you go to my profile, you'll see that space pinned right to the top of that. Also, I am going to talk a little bit more about that event I have coming up in Dublin, but let's say hello to some people first. Good morning to James. Great to see you here. He gave me a big hello from over on YouTube. Hello to Zaki. We haven't seen you here before. You are very welcome. Thank you for joining me. And don't forget, if you have any thoughts on, do you create Reels? Do you dabble with Reels? Do you feel like you should be creating Reels, or are you a mad Reels creator? I want to know the answer. And hello to LinkedIn user. It's not telling me who you are, so you can say hello and let me know if you are. You're joining for the first time. It's great to see you. And a good morning to Emma York. Now, before I start the news, did you hear about this event that I am running in Dublin? Well, it's not just me, actually. It is Louise Brogan who's joining me on my Twitter space. It's also, for those of you who know Making Sang, who normally joins me for the Twitter space, she is our headline speaker talking about FOMO. We've also got Christine Gritman from the United States talking about brand. I'm speaking, Louise is speaking. We've got Carmel Siri, who is a finance expert who'll be able to show you where all your money is going in your business and what to do about that. She's really great. We've got a panel about working with creators, which will feature both Loretta from Lurg Media, based in Galway. We've got an interview with Andrew and Pete, because we are actually running this in association with Atomic, which is their thing. And they have grown a phenomenal business. They're only 31. So we've got an interview with Ali from Lurg Media, who is going to quiz them on how on earth did they manage to do that? Sounds good, huh? That's on the 27th of April in Dublin. When we started this out, it was going to be a much smaller event, so the tickets are crazy affordable. So it's €50 plus VAT, which I think if you have to pay the VAT if you're based in the UK, it's going to be around 63. So do come along to that. If you're interested, just put a comment there. I will DM you after this show. That's the end of the app. Right, let's see. Emma says that she loves Reels. Well, that's good. It's good to know someone is. Good morning to Derbla over there, who's watching on LinkedIn. You've never created a Reel, James, but you do like creating stories because you know they're gone in 24 hours. That's definitely an advantage. What's stopping you creating reels? I'd be interested to know. Good morning, Joanne. You wouldn't be a fan of reels. It does depend on what industry you're working in and if it's relevant. And you're sure you must have used real videos in ads at some stage. I'm sure you have, James. I'm sure you have. The reason I'm asking you this question will become obvious very shortly. But hey, let's get on with that, will we?
I'm Esther.
And I'm Melanie.
From the Monday Morning Marketing Podcast.
And you're watching The Digital Coffee
with Amanda Webb.
Did you ever write a tweet? I know you did. You've written a tweet. But did you ever write a tweet, send that tweet, look at the tweet and see it's got horrible typo in it? Because I do that all the time on my phone. I am such a bad person for typing on my phone. And then, of course, you can't edit it. So you have to go and delete it, write the whole thing again and tweet it again. I mean, it's painful. And over on Facebook and over on LinkedIn, we can edit our posts, right? We can edit our posts already. We can just go in, we can edit them and you can see an edit history so people can see where you messed up. And Twitter have always said, no, they're not going to do this. They chose a weird time to tell us that actually, yes, they are going to do this, because the first time I saw this, it was on the 1st of April. They said that they were adding a Twitter edit button, and everyone was like, ha, ha, ha. Yeah, of course you are. It's 1st of April. But actually, they are. They're working on it. No joke. They are working on a Twitter edit button. And this is the idea. This is what they have shown us it's going to look like. You'll be able to tap the 3 dots at the top of the tweet and you will have that option to edit. I've seen some stuff going around on Twitter, but not from an official source, that suggests that there's actually just going to be a little drop down where you'll be able to see the original tweet, which of course is important that you can see that original tweet, because you don't want people to be able to completely revise what they said, particularly when there's a conversation thread attached to it. If they change the complete meaning of the tweet, then the conversation afterwards will look bizarre. So people need to see the original. Now, this is exciting in 2 ways, because it was Jack Dorsey that said, nope, we are never adding a Twitter button. And of course, he resigned as CEO of Twitter back in November, and now it's April. So that was a pretty fast turnaround, wasn't it, when the new guy got in charge? And it also shows to me that not just, yay, this is going to save us time and hassle, but also that it was such a quick turnaround, and it shows that, that Twitter is going to evolve and change. It's not going to stick by those old rules that maybe Jack had in place. And there is new things happening at Twitter. There are new people in charge. We're going to talk about those new people in charge in a little while. Good morning to, it doesn't tell me who you are, everyone on LinkedIn. So whoever this is says I create reels. Do let me know who you are, because I also can't see afterwards. It's kind of depressing. Like typos in your YouTube chats. Yes, well, there is that, James, but at least they kind of disappear quite quickly. Hello, whoever that is who's watching on LinkedIn. Great to have you here. Haha. Yes, well, let's talk about Musk in a second. Yes, you're preempting my story. You'll be interested to see how many people on here use Twitter. That's an interesting one. The death of Twitter has been much talked about, but it's actually picking up users. So if you look at Facebook, who is dropping users, Twitter is actually growing in strength. I really think it depends where you want to put your energy, but that's a chat for another day.
Hello, this is Nicole from Wonderstars, and you are watching Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Elon Musk, from Tesla, has just purchased 73.5 million shares in Twitter, which gives him 9.2% of the company, which is apparently more than Jack Dorsey has. What does this mean? Why? Why has Mr. Musk done this thing? Well, We know he has been outspoken on Twitter in the past. He's tweeted some controversial things. He's tweeted some things that got him into trouble. He's tweeted political things. He's tweeted weird and bizarre things. He obviously likes this network. And recently he put up a poll asking should there be an edit button on Twitter. And he's quite vocal about some of the things that he thinks that Twitter should be doing, including he's not happy. It's not like he's a fan of the previous president of the United States, whose name I'm not going to mention, but he does think Twitter was wrong for banning him from Twitter. He thinks there should be free speech on Twitter. That is big. Now, with this amount of shares he's got, he doesn't have a place on the board yet. He doesn't have any control yet. But what will happen if he does? Now, sometimes I love Elon Musk. Sometimes I find him very irritating. So I'm one of those people that can shift between the two. And also, I believe free speech is important. No, I think, it's important that we don't get shot down for things that we say. But there are problems with free speech social networks. Before that previous president of the United States was banned from Twitter, Twitter wasn't a nice place to be. Even mentioning him in that coded way, I am now, has caused people to come and attack me on Twitter. So they've actually gone to the hassle to watch my video and come back and say, well, I enjoyed it until you disparaged name of previous president. So without him there, it has become a nicer and warmer space. And that's the problem with free speech. It's only good as long as you use it responsibly. I feel like I'm getting into a rant here, but I don't mean to. And we've seen previously that free speech social networks haven't worked because they have quickly filled up with racism, threats to kill people, homophobia, and that makes a lot of people really uncomfortable, and it could end up being the death of Twitter. So is it good that Elon Musk wants in on Twitter? I think we're just going to have to wait and see. Lots more. Ginny's watching on LinkedIn. That's why I can't see your profile. Great to know that you're here. Andrew made the Elon Musk comment. Yes. Melanie is saying good morning. Melanie is involved in this event that I'm running in Dublin. Don't forget, if you leave a comment here, I'm just going to fire you over a DM with the link. So I will do that, I promise. She's having a cup of coffee. And a board seat too. So he doesn't have a board seat at the moment. Well, unless something changed overnight. But he will, I imagine, with that amount of shares, he's going to get there because he's got more power now within the company than Jack himself, who founded it. Okay, maybe it has been an update and he has got a board seat. Either way, he's definitely going to get it. Hi Rainey. I just met Rainey last week in London. Great to see you here. Thank you for joining me. Let's stop talking about Mr. Musk, will we? Yeah.
Hi, Sasha Lydia from Think Outside the Bot, and you're watching the Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Twitter ads have never really taken off in the same way that Facebook ads have. And it's hard to know why, because the interface they have made to be very similar, they have. And yeah, I know Twitter users don't particularly like ads, but tough, neither did Facebook users. LinkedIn ads seem to have taken off, so why not Twitter? And Twitter has evolved so much in the last few years that this does constantly surprise me that we're not seeing more ads, but we may do soon because they're introducing some new pretty cool ad types. Now, the first one I have to admit I find slightly confusing. Let's get it up on the screen. Twitter interactive text is the first type of ad. And as you can see in the screenshot, the text on the ad is a lot larger than in a regular tweet. And some of the words have been highlighted. And if you click on one of those highlighted words, it's basically a link. It will bring you to a landing page of some sort. You can have up to 3 of those and you can choose your color scheme. This is only available to larger advertisers at the moment as it's in its testing phase, but there you go. Now, what confuses me a little bit like this, I like the fact that these are basically links. They're hyperlinks so people can click the text without you having to put a big long link in as part of it. But why 3? Do you want to send people to 3 different places? I mean, maybe it could be used for some sort of poll function, but really you would just want one call to action on an ad. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm missing something there. The second type of ad makes more sense to me. Now, the next 2 types of ads are for e-commerce businesses specifically, and this is clearly an area that Twitter is trying to grow. The second one is this product ad that you'll be able to add a 3D image. Now, the users will be able to spin around with their fingers to look at it properly, and underneath you will have a call to action to go to their shop and buy it directly. Now, again, this is for big business to start with. There's obviously like a tech kind of curve that you'll need to follow to get this 3D image onto there. But I'm imagining that it won't be long before this becomes quite accessible to create that sort of image for even smaller businesses. This is something I would use a lot on websites, to have a proper look at the products I'm going to buy. So I think this is a good one. And the third one I don't actually have a screenshot of. The third one is, it will look very familiar to you because it's a collection ad like you will see on Facebook. It will have one big hero image of whatever product you want to showcase at the top and underneath some smaller boxes. So people will actually be able to go into your Twitter shop and be able to browse products and then buy from you. All of these, I think, are a big asset to the Twitter advertising model. And I can see with innovations like this that Twitter ads could really take off. Right, let's have a look. There's lots of comments, so I'm going to catch up here. Emma says she is drinking tea. Very good. Good morning to Kate over on Facebook, who is, I imagine, drinking tea. Also, I could be wrong. You can let me know. Hello, Katie. Great to see you. You're making your gluten-free pancakes. Sounds good. Rainey says, I love Twitter and use it regularly. It is my favorite social network and actually always has been. So yes, I'm with you there, Rainey. Can I have some, please? Of the pancakes, I'm imagining. Would Twitter really want to leave Twitter 3 times? Yeah, well, that with the ad, I suppose, if you're paying to let people leave Twitter. But people, are they going to click all 3 links? I really have to see it in action to know what's going to happen. The 3D ads looks useful for those companies that have that sort of product. Yeah, so anyone that's got a product that it's good to see in that 3D thing, I think will be excellent. Those Twitter ads look fiddly for fat thumbs. That would be me. That's the reason I really do actually need a Twitter button, a Twitter edit button. So I thought I was against it, but it turns out I'm quite happy about the Twitter button.
This is Making Sang, first name Making, from the Firma Creator, and you have been watching the Digital Coffee Show with Amanda Webb.
The problem with live streaming, she says on a live stream, the problems with live streaming is it's very static, right? There's a reason I stand up for my live streams, because it gives me, I can do a little dance, I can move around and hopefully keep your attention, because that's the problem when you've got a camera pointing at one thing statically for a long time. Attention wanders, because that's not the way our eyes consume the world. Our eyes are constantly looking around us and picking up images and putting them together in our head. And that's why edited video and television and films that have edits keep our attention going. And if you don't have edits, there was recently a Stephen Graham film set in a kitchen where it was all one shot. You do need to move around. You need to keep people's interest going. And that is a problem with live streaming in general. We have to think of ways that we can keep you interested. But what actually happens is, I don't know if any of you are, hopefully not, please don't, but you could have me opening a tab on your computer, yakking away, and you could be on another tab on your computer, just listening in. TikTok have thought about this. TikTok have given us a way to continue listening to a live stream while doing other things on our phone. This is what it looks like. I've got all these new animations and I'm just totally hoping they pop up when I click them. This is what it looks like. So if you're listening to, watching a live stream and you have to go and do something else on your phone, you'll see this is on an iPhone. I'm not sure if it's available for Android yet. You have the option there to listen in audio, and that just keeps playing in the background while you go and do other things. Just like Clubhouse. So without getting away from the core product or changing anything or giving somebody a new tool, they have given the user a way to tap into live audio exactly the way they might on other social networks, which I think is pretty cool. I do worry, as somebody who doesn't really use TikTok because it's so addictive, I do worry that TikTok adds so many new features, and if it keeps adding new bolt-ons, it's just going to become like Facebook. It's going to become that all-encompassing social network, and it's going to lose what made it attractive to us in the first place. This isn't a bolt-on, so that's good news. So we'll have to see where this goes in the future. Katie said I made a really good point. I'm just going to put that up because it's always lovely to hear. I don't know what it was, but I said something smart, right? I said something clever. Melanie says you listen in most of the time when you're working. You see, this isn't great for a live streamer because they're not getting the comments and they don't know. They don't know you're there. So just saying, it might be the way you use it, but it's not great for us. And you're totally legitimately. Keep listening to my show. I'm really happy. You do like my coffee edit snippets. I've got new ones that I shot at Social Media Marketing World that I still need to edit. So watch next week. I'll have some new coffee snippets too.
Hi, I'm Danielle from Webb, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
One of the things that I think holds people back from creating more reels is the thought of editing them. Because that seems complicated, right? You know, I recently ran a course where I was just going into a really basic, trimming the beginning and the end off a reel clip, and people were just like, oh no, my head hurts. And that's the thing with editing. You either love it and you take to it like a duck to water, or you really dislike it and you find the whole thing just way too complicated. And that's stopping people creating reels. Well, maybe it is. Instagram just made it a little bit easier to edit. So now when you go and edit, so if it's a multi-clip reel, so I shot 2 clips for this example. When you go in to preview it, the 2 little thumbnails of the clips that I've created appear underneath the reel for me to edit. And I can click into one of those, I can trim the beginning and end off both, but I can also reorder them. So you can click on reorder and move them around into the correct order. Now, it's a little change, but I think it makes editing on Reels way easier. And this is obviously important if it is one of the things that is getting in the way of more creators using Reels. For Instagram, they want, of course, more people to use Reels because that means more advertising space. Hello. But for us as well, the more people who create Reels, the more accessible it becomes, the better stuff will always surface to the top. So it's giving everyone the opportunity to create better stuff. It's giving us the opportunity to create better stuff. It's also giving us the opportunity to work with more creators because there will be more creators, a more diverse bunch of creators in the future. So I love this update. I'm one of the people that does enjoy editing, but I do think this can make it a lot easier. Right, we're almost at the end, but we're not quite because we've got LinkedIn to talk about. So all you LinkedIn people, hang around.
I'm Ant McGinley and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
If you've switched your profile to creator mode on LinkedIn, you'll know that you can add a little profile video. Now, this is only 30 seconds long maximum. I think it's 30 seconds. And it's 30 seconds of you talking about yourself, introducing yourself. And this is the scariest and worst type of video that people want to create. It's basically in your profile picture. So you click your profile picture, you see your video. It's a worst type of video because one, it's a video and people don't always like creating it, and it's talking about yourself. And well, here in Europe, at least, we don't like talking about ourselves. LinkedIn to the rescue, because LinkedIn have added a new feature here for when you create these profile videos. And it's basically a list of prompts. You can choose from the prompt what it is that you want to talk about. So how did your business start, or, you know, what inspires your business? And you choose one of these prompts and you just answer it in the video. It looks like that the prompt will stay on screen. So when people watching it, they can see what you're responding to. So because you're limited to time, it means that you don't have to frame the question. You don't need to say it at the beginning because it can see what you're answering. And I think this will get a lot more people creating their profile videos, because obviously with that guidance, it will help. Even if you don't answer the question, you could write down the prompts, go and write yourself a little 30-second script and then go and shoot it. I think this is an absolutely great essential. I thought I saw another comment coming in, but I think my browser just refreshed. So hopefully I'm still here and you can all see me. Hopefully that's all happening here. I've forgotten what button to press. Who did we saw Ant, didn't we? Do you know who's speaking at our event in Dublin? This person here.
Hey, I'm Christine Gritman, and you are watching The Digital Coffee with social media superstar Amanda Webb.
I love how LinkedIn have managed, or LinkedIn users have managed to hack the whole document feature. If you're not familiar with this, you can upload a PDF document into LinkedIn and people can scroll through it on screen, or they can download it. And I remember talking about that when it came out, and I was like, well, what will we use this for? Maybe you could use it for a lead magnet. But no, people were way more creative than a lead magnet. What a lot of people do now is use it almost like an Instagram carousel. You can go into Canva or you can go into PowerPoint. You can create a multi-section PDF document, but you can make it any size you want. So you can make it, you know, with big graphics on the screen so people can see it. And then when you upload it, people can scroll through. Now, all of that is a little bit of a pain in the pants, to be honest, because you have to go and create a PDF version. It's not exactly what it was designed for. And finally, it looks like LinkedIn may have copped on that, yes, this is something people want to do. Why don't we make it easier for them? It looks like, I don't know if this is the right screen, so I'm just going to click it anyway. I think I clicked it twice and made it go away. One more time. No, nothing is happening. Okay. Practice more in advance next time, Amanda. So what it looks like is basically like a carousel that you will see on Instagram. You're going to be able to add up to 20 different elements. They are going to be able to be video or images. I don't know whether you're going to be able to mix those yet. But it's going to be your basic carousel. It's going to be a much easier and faster way to actually create one of these without having to use Canva, without having to fiddle around with PDFs. You'll be able to actually upload your individual elements into LinkedIn, which can only be good, right? This is only in the planning stages at the moment. There's no official announcement. Some reverse hacker found it, but I do think it's about time that LinkedIn, like other social networks, looked at how users are using the platform and gave us the features. Yes, you've done that a couple of times, the carousel slide thing. Yes, basically people are calling those PDF documents carousels. So, you know, it's just about time. It's about time that they got round to it. Don't forget at 10:30 a.m. to come over to Twitter. I'm at Spiderworking, pinned tweet at the top, where myself and Louise Brogan and you, if you join on mobile, you can ask to be a speaker, can join in the conversation about these stories in more detail. Don't forget that on the 27th of April, I'm having an event in Dublin. And yes, I'm sorry, if you commented on this, I'm going to invite you. I'm going to send you a direct message with a link where you can find out more information about that. I will see you. If you don't come to Twitter, I will see you same bat time, same bat place next week. Until then, bye-bye.